Hi guys. Well, no churches today, unfortunately, but what I'm doing, I'm taking you on a little walk with me, all right, because I want to have a little chat. So stick with me. I'm up in Bedford, and I live in Bedford, if you didn't know. And we have this wonderful park up here called Priory Park. And the sun's just come out. Anyway, what I wanted to have a chat to you about, I'm thinking about stopping the Church Explorer channel. Okay, now you're probably wondering why. And I'm going to explain it to you as best as I possibly can. I've been doing the channel now for 5 years, and as you know, I go out and I travel. Sometimes I'll go to 4, 5, 6 churches, and if I'm lucky, I'll find one open. Most of them are locked up. I was hoping, to be honest with you, to do at least one church this weekend, but unfortunately I sent some emails out to various church wardens and key holders, and I didn't get any response. Now, I'm not blaming them for that, because obviously being Easter bank holiday, I'm sure that they've been very, very busy, and I've got nothing good to say. I've only got good things to say, for church wardens, and most certainly a lot of the parishioners who actually keep the churches going. So it's not their fault. But one of the other reasons why I'm considering stopping the channel is I've been doing it now for 5 years, as I say, and I only have 950 subscribers. Now, I know a lot of people watch the channel, watch the videos. Okay, there's something like 200 videos up there at the moment, I believe, and a lot of people watch, but they don't subscribe, and I wish that they would. And it costs nothing to subscribe to the channel, and YouTube decided to use this stupid word of subscribe. And a lot of people think, oh, if I subscribe to that, I've got to pay. Well, you don't have to pay. It costs nothing. You just press that button at the top and hopefully press the bell as well. So whenever I load up a new video, you know, you'll get a notification. But it costs nothing to subscribe. But as I say, I've been doing the channel now for 5 years, and I've only got 950 subscribers. So it's very disheartening. As you know, many of you do watch the channel, and many of you most certainly do subscribe, and I'm always grateful for the subscriptions, for the people that do subscribe, and the comments. I've had some lovely comments this morning come in, which I've replied to. But yeah, a lot of people watch the channel. They don't subscribe to the channel. They don't comment. And so when you do this, and you've been doing it for as long as I have, and I don't make any money out of the channel. I don't make a thing. right? Okay, so you know, you subscribing, it's not going to give me any money. All it's going to do is help sort of build the channel, and eventually, you know, if it ever got to the sort of tens of thousands of people watching it, because it is watched all around the world. I have a lot of Americans watch the channel who obviously are very interested in the history of the churches, because over there they evidently don't have churches that are that old, with the history that we have. And as you know, some of the churches I go to they go back, you know, to 1200. So it really is disheartening to not be able to get more subscribers and more feedback. So, you know, that's what my thinking is at the present moment in time. And again, as I said in the last video, is the fact that currently the price of petrol is so ridiculous. You know, I wanted to travel further afield and do more churches, but so that's out of the question at the moment. So there we go, guys. That's where we stand at the moment. You know, do I pack the channel in and just leave the 200 videos up there as they are, or do I carry on? You tell me. You know, if I don't get the feedback or whatever, or any comments, then I will just stop doing more videos. So simple as that. As I've said before, I don't just do the church videos. I do have another channel, which is the one about Lady Florence Dixie, which if you haven't checked that out, then check it out, because I'm putting bits and pieces up about Lady Florence, and I'm also putting some of her, well, I'm at the moment putting or converting part of her book into a YouTube, into audio. Okay, so I've got the first two chapters up there currently, and some other information, and that's another project that I've been working on for a very, very long time. It's one that's really sort of close to my heart, that one. It's a story that needs to be told. People have no idea who Lady Florence Dixie was, and yet she was one of the most outstanding women of the Victorian era, as I keep saying. So yes, I'm also writing a full biography of Lady Florence at the moment, which takes a great deal of time. Plus, anybody that follows this channel, and those that do and watch the videos, you will also know that I actually write children's books as well, under the heading of Tuk Tuk Happy, T-U-K Happy, right? And I do all the illustrations and everything for the books. So that is yet another project I work on. But I've always enjoyed doing the churches and going to the churches and finding all the little interesting parts within the church, you know, all the historical parts. If anyone's watched the one of St. Leonard's Church in Old Warden, you know, it's one of the most extraordinary churches I've ever been in. One of my favourites, to be honest with you. I can spend hours in that church just wandering around because there's so many extraordinary things in there. If you haven't viewed that video, then check it out, because I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. Yes, so I've enjoyed going around visiting the churches and finding out all these lovely little pieces of history. The Tompion chest, the chap that was basically, he was a clockmaker, close here, actual fact. I think that one was over in near Cranfield, which is not very far from where I am today. And so that's an interesting one also. But look, they are all interesting in their own way. The church in Stevington that has the well that runs underneath it, which they considered to be, they considered that it had special properties, healing properties. That church, in actual fact, was run by a lot of nuns who came from the priory of St. Peter's in the village of Harold, which was just up the road from Stevington. And the water still flows directly underneath the church to this day. And inside the church, if you haven't seen the video, inside the church there's a glass panel on the floor which you can actually look at and see the water. And one other interesting thing about that is, people still to this day still go up and collect the water. The water actually flows underneath the church and out the other end, right? And there's a little sort of waterfall thing the other side. And people still to this day still go up there and collect the water, believing that it has some sort of special properties. I think back in the day they thought that it was it could cure blindness, but lovely little story, that one. Wonderful church. There's also, with that church, I was able to put the drone up and film the church with the drone, which was rather good. And that's another point, you see. Right, I'm going to spin this around and show you where I am at the moment. Right, here we are. I'm going to pan this around very, very slowly, so you can see where I am. Out in the middle of nowhere, people. It's a lovely walk and it's very popular. Okay, and we are walking up towards the 421. This is one of the national walk routes and cycling routes, and it goes for miles. I haven't obviously I haven't been all the way along here, but I've walked this route a few hundred times. But anyway, yeah, that's the other point I wanted to make, is that in order to be able to make the videos, okay, and anybody that's stuck with me over the 5 years, they would have noticed, hopefully, that I've changed equipment, and the cost of the equipment, the drone itself was over £1,000. So in order for me to be able to sort of, get the drone up and do drone videos, I've done some inside the churches as well, and that, especially the one at Wiston, which is one of my favourite churches, are high up on the hill. And if the weather hadn't been sort of so unpredictable today, I think I would have probably been tempted to take a drive over and go up to Wiston, even though I've done that church, I've filmed that church inside and out probably twice already. we may get some knives now, because as I say, we're coming up to the 421. I'm going to tell you another little quirk about me in a moment when I get up here. Well, I may share that with you, I may not. But anyway, so yeah, I've spent over the 5 years, I should probably think some in the region of about £5,000, okay, in buying equipment, gimbals, extensions, stands, you know, microphones. I've tried to improve it all over the years, and so in order to be able to make these videos, it hasn't entirely been buck free, because it most certainly is not, you know, but I've enjoyed doing it. Let me change hands here. I've enjoyed doing it, but as I say, it's because people, you know, don't subscribe to the channel. I'm seriously thinking of stop filming and not doing any more. Wow, I just nearly got run over by that geezer on the bike. You would think that they would go a little bit slower, wouldn't you, people on bikes? But they make me so angry and so cross. You can hear the 421, which is on my right hand side, just over here, peeps. That's the 421 behind that fence. Although it's bright, it's quite cold out here today. Wow, yeah, it's getting rather windier and windier. Oh my goodness. So, give me your thoughts, tell me what you think, you know, drop a comment in and say, hey, you know, yeah, pack it in, keep going, or whatever. And for all those people that haven't subscribed, then yeah, just press that button. It costs you no money whatsoever, you know, and that will probably encourage me to keep going. But until I get over that 1,000 mark of subscribers, and hopefully even more, then yes, peeps, I'm seriously thinking of not doing any more church videos. Okay, so drop your comments in, tell me what you think. You know, as I say, I've got many other projects on the go at the moment. I do like to keep myself exceptionally busy. Now I'm going to show you this 421, don't go away. Whoops. I always struggle with trying to cross this bridge because I suffer with panic attacks, and crossing a bridge like this normally causes me a panic attack. I know, stupidity, isn't it? But there we go. There's the 421. Not so busy today. And generally speaking, right, because I suffer with panic attacks, I wouldn't normally be able to stand here. But I must be having a rather good day, because I've walked this so many times and not been able to get across this bridge. And the truth is now I'm feeling a bit woozy, so I'm going to come away from the bridge. Yeah, anybody that's suffered with panic attacks, drop a comment down, because they'll understand quite clearly what I mean. And I don't know why I get it with the bridges. I don't know why it is. I have no understanding. I can't get across Queen Elizabeth Bridge, you know, the big one goes over the Thames. I struggle with that as well. So there you go. I've told you something that I don't normally share with people, because once you tell people that, they think, oh, you know, you're a bit doolally. What I'm going to do, in actual fact, I'm going to show you, right, if I come round, in the distance there, you may see the two big sheds, and that is where the R100 and the R101 was built, in those sheds over there. That's Cardington, the two big airships. The R100, I believe, crashed, didn't it? I don't know if it was on its maiden journey or not, but it crashed, I think somewhere, was it Austria or somewhere like that? Oh, it's getting very, very windy. And so yeah, they're the two sheds at Cardington. I'm going to come off this hill. Oh dear, oh dear. Peeps, it's absolutely freezing now. So anyway, that's basically all I've got to say today. And who knows, you know, let's see what you've got to say. You tell me. Do I pack up? Do I keep going? Do I, you know, throw the towel in and just keep writing my books? You know, so that's it, peeps. Take good care. Have a great day. Bye.